Hello, everyone. Join me and the great Michelle Massey Washington next Sunday, May 14th, with our very special guest, Rex Sykes, Mindset Master. He's going to be talking to us about getting the right mind. So join us Sunday, May 14th, right here on Stay in Love TV. This week's episode is sponsored by Dollhouse of Tampa Salon and Studio. Find your inner doll. They offer quick weave, sew-ins, and much, much more to fit every occasion. Need a wig? Selena's got you. She will customize a unit just for you. Book your next appointment on Booksy today. Did someone say nails? Honey, forget the Bayhive. Contact Queen Bee herself. She offers customized designer nails and even designer press-ons that she will customize and ship to you. Braids, and even twists. Book with Tiffany right on Facebook. Find your inner doll at Dollhouse Tampa Salon and Studio. Tampa. This week's episode is sponsored by Hustle and Bling. It don't mean a thing if you ain't got that bling. Lovely paparazzi designer pieces for only $5. That's right, $5. And don't worry about it if the kid gets in the jewelry box. They're only $5. Make sure you catch Allison Mondays and Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays live on Instagram and Facebook, promoting some of these wonderful fashion fixes that you'll enjoy. And if you miss it, check out the website. Don't mean a thing if it ain't got that bling. Hustle and Bling. Stay in Love TV is your production to distribution solution to getting your message seen and heard. Having your own TV show with Stay in Love TV has never been easier than now. Stay in Love TV gives you the power to share your message with the world. Stop watching TV and start being watched on TV. Stay in Love TV offers real-time multicasting, all with one click. This opportunity puts you on the world stage with an audience of over 200 million. In addition to your low monthly subscription fees, you will also receive monthly network coaching and training from the network itself to ensure that before your first show premieres, you are set up for success. We at Stay in Love TV bring over 20 years experience in sales, marketing, advertising, and business development. Stay in Love TV, purposeful entertainment driven by love, empowered with passion, fueled with faith. Go to www.stayinlovetv.com and let's get started.
This is thy kingdom come. Let the spirit of the Holy One pass over. Let your peace cover the earth. Lord, let your will be done. This is the time to take a stand, to let the world know that you can. You can face tomorrow, but today is the day that you say, I will reign. I will reign.
Hello, everyone. How are you? I am Vanessa Klinger, your intuitive life strategist and life coach motivator.
And I'm Michelle Washington, your motivator and your spiritual evolutionist. Namaste. I bow to the divine presence and purpose in you.
Namaste, co-host. Well, new season. It's a new season.
New reason.
It's a new season. It's a new season.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Season.
Yes.
New network.
Yes.
New.
Everything's new. Yes.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome to the season premiere of Spiritually Speaking and Awakening. And it's been a very interesting year so far. It's been just a lot of things happening. But I can say this. Steadfast. That's the key word for tonight. Remain steadfast.
Yeah. no matter what's going on. It's a lot of things going on the outside, but everything on the inside remains the same. So if we focus and stay focused on our inside, once you go in, you never be without, then you'll be able to stand through all of this wind. I'm just not talking and blowing in the air. I'm in the midst of a storm. And so I recognize that I'm not the only one. And my storm is not as bad as some other people. So we just have to encourage each other and know that we already won.
Yeah, absolutely. And the God in you is faithful.
Yeah.
Not just God, but the God in you is faithful. And I think that's where so many of us miss it, co-hosts, is because we think that God is just performing outside of all this externally. But when you allow the God in you to continually to remain immovable and steadfast within you, then you can see the faithfulness of God working internally and externally.
And there's never been a time that he didn't bring us through. It's just the in-between time where the fear comes in, and from the problem to the solution, that in-between time is where you have to be constant and steadfast and unmovable, and remind yourself and talk to yourself and encourage yourself, because no one can encourage you better than you can.
Right. David encouraged himself. Why did David encourage himself? Because God was within him.
Right. And so you can't lose with the stuff you use.
That's right.
Revenite.
And I'm reminded of Pastor Jensen Franklin. He said, you know, it's great from the beginning to the end, but it's hell in the hallway.
Yeah, in between.
Breakthrough. It's hell in the hallway, honey.
Yeah, that's good.
If you can make it through the hallway and get to the end, yeah. Survive the hell in the hallway. Yes.
I'm not just going to survive it. I'm going to overcome it.
And come out smelling like roses.
And not smoke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're gonna show the situation, the smoke, not the smoke gonna show you the situation.
Right.
Because I mean, if that approach, that insight in knowing that inspire, I mean, you know, there's so much going on, right, to distract us and cause us to lose our focus and our sight on the end goal.
Yeah.
On the end goal. And you know, I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for everybody, really, because I'm here, and I really feel that I'm on the other side. I mean, and I've gone through some things, and I'm through. Mm-hmm. And I can honestly say that if you remain faithful and you keep pushing, and you keep showing up for class, keep showing up for class.
Mm-hmm. It's the law. It's the law. The law is the land, the air, and the water. So God has already set the law for it.
That's right.
And we've conquered it all. So
yeah,
we've got the land, we've got the air, and we got the water.
That's why it's considered a simulation. See, a simulation is a run through of what already has been mapped out.
Right. And it's just a journey that we're taking in this movie that we're making. So I'm encouraged.
Wait, just a minute. Say that again, co-host.
It's just a journey that we're taking in the movie that we're making.
It's Michelleology right there. Mm-hmm. Just a journey that we're taking in the movie that we're making.
Yeah, we're writing the story, writing our stories. And we are the Now Testament, so we're writing the new book. So our stories are going to be, what did you say, an artifact?
It's an artifact. It really is. Yeah. We're leaving an artifact.
All right.
We really are. We really are. Because we're writing our own story. We are a walking epistle. I don't think people really understand what that means. You're a walking epistle. That means you are living out your story for someone else to read, or is reading right now. We don't know, girl. We don't
know. Right. And so we always win. So no matter how the story goes, we always win.
And you know, you brought that up. The movie that we're making, and we're a walking epistle. That just makes sense to me, because why would there be a host of witnesses if they weren't witnessing nothing?
Yeah, a witness has always seen something and has come back to tell about it.
And they're
So,
witnessing
hmm
something transpired.
hmm
They're witnessing that. So the host of witnesses are witnessing our walking epistle, our movie, our life movie. They are witnessing that. They're watching it and they're rooting for us and they're cheering us on. And you
right,
know,
and we really have to call for our help, call for those that are out there for us. If we don't call for the ancestors to help us, then they can't. The angels can't help us unless we call for them. If we don't call for them, they're just there because it's a will that we have to have. And if we're not aware and awake that we have some help, God is our help, but He has sent us helpers.
we got support,
Um,
baby.
and we're loaded, cocked and loaded for any situation because God never sent us out unincorporated with what we needed or unequipped from what we needed for this trip.
We are equipped. And you know, I many days I've you know, I, one of the many occasions that I was going through something and I was just frustrated as all get out and didn't know what to do. So I did nothing. Yet I was hearing, I had to silence out the voices because the voice was saying, "You need to do something." Yeah, I'm like, well, hell, I don't know what to do. You
Yeah,
know,
it gets
after
like
you done prayed about it, what else you gonna do if you don't know
yeah.
what else to do?
I
So
just decided to stand still when I don't know what to do instead of just doing something. I will stand still and just listen to hear my next step because I may not see my next step, but if I'm quiet, I can hear it.
absolutely, you can
Hmm.
hear it, and that frustrating time may just require a nap.
Yeah, I've done that too.
Because you're going through and you don't know what to do and you're frustrated and you're thinking about it and you're thinking about it and you're thinking about it and spirit is like, I can't do nothing with you. Go to sleep so I can start humble yourself so I can under the mighty hand of God so I can write out your next step so that you can be inspired and know what to do when you get up. See, a lot of times you said we get in the way of the performing of God's work in us
Hmm.
when we want to try to do it ourselves and step outside of the time and all that stuff. But when it says stand still and see the salvation, I really believe that when you stand still and you see the salvation, you have to immovable. Sometimes it requires you, I know it does, going within and sleeping, because when you've done all you can do, they say stand, I say go to sleep.
Well,
When you
during that time, it stops you from thinking. And we sometimes we overthink or we think too much.
Yeah,
And the sleeping is when that is it the theta wave
if you can get there, yeah.
does its work of restoring and
Mhm.
clarifying and clearing up and straightening out and doing a lot of things that you just settle this unconscious mind so that the conscious mind can do the work in the subconscious mind. And so when you go to sleep, yeah, it's sometimes that is the best thing.
Because then you allow your subconscious mind to catch up, because see, if there's nothing in your subconscious respectively and your mind is just going, then your
Mhm.
subconscious really don't know what to do, because you got all these thoughts going to and fro by every wind of doctrine, just going. But when you go to sleep and you go into sleep mode, then the mighty hand of God begins to write out, map out, and sync up and get you in harmony and unison, so that
Mhm.
when you wake up you are vibrating, harmonically
Mhm.
vibrating, and then you're able to hear your next move and go
Mhm.
and hear and everything that while you were sleeping, because you were able to just stand still, then you're able to see what was already there
Right.
transpire for you.
Right, because everything has already been in place from the day that it was said it is finished. It's already set in place, but we have to coincide with what's already in place. We have to vibrate to that frequency which is already in place. And sometimes when we're thinking, we are going outside of that vibration, and that's not where that is. And that's kind of frustrating. That's that in between time. But I recognize that we our our ending has already been finished. So we're actually catching up with our ending.
Yep. Yep. All right. Okay. So it's a new season, new network. We've got some great things coming, and it's just I'm just excited about everything that's happening,
Yeah.
and and I'm excited for you.
Congratulations
On what?
on your station.
Oh, I've been going and going. I haven't even had a chance to just go, hey, Vanessa, you did that, girl.
Yeah, yeah.
Just going and going. And, I'm just, I wanted to do it. I saw a better way that could be done for me and for the people that we will attract to the network. Just, a reasonable way for people to share the message because a lot of people aren't watching TV anymore. Some people are watching their phones, with watching us right now through their phones.
Right.
And I'm grateful for that because people can just be anywhere and be enjoying Spiritually Speaking and Awakening and all the other shows that are rolling out.
Yes.
So yeah, it's really it's an honor. It's an honor. So okay, so this season, and I I shared it with you. I said, Michelle, I said, we need to do it. We need to do it because so much has happened the last 2 years when we started Spiritually Speaking, which is now Spiritually Speaking and Awakening. I said, I want to do Revelation again. And you said, and this great thing about how the right partnerships, because you said, yeah, because we're in a different state of awareness now than when we started it. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to see how Spirit is going to bring the word for the viewers and the people that are watching the show. And I just do. We in the days of Revelation talk that we a movie within a movie.
Yeah. And it's exciting. It's exciting because when I look back over my life and where I've come from, as far as how I think about God, how I think about spirituality, how God has opened so many doors to refresh me in the state that I'm in the place that I'm in the consciousness that I'm in. And it gets overwhelming because you're looking back and you say, what the world was I thinking? So
Right.
it's like, how was I ever making it on that? But it just shows that God is a progressive God. And no matter where you are in your walk, he is progressing you to greater. So we can't measure my greater and your greater because it's no competition. It's just based on where you are, where you're going, how you're listening, and you set yourself up for what God is going to open up to you. He's not going to give you more than you can bear. But if you're not ready to bear anything, then you can't ask for anything. So when this opens for you, you can expect anything to happen, good, bad, ugly, and different. But the good thing is that you can handle every stage of everything that comes in your life because you're prepared through the light. So revelation meaning light, and the light has come. It's not coming. I'm not looking in the sky for nothing because I'm looking within my inner being, and that is my sky for the light to shine. So I've come from the outside to the inside. I've come out the rain. I've come out of the craziness. And once you come inside, there's no telling where you can go or who you can be or what you can do.
Yeah, and the fortunate thing is that God is with us and you viewers in every situation that you're going through. And while you were speaking in that, I'm visual. Spirit shows me pictures, and I was like, it's like being in a classroom. When you take your test, sometimes you don't know whether or not you scored. You passed, or anything. But when they come in and say, it's time to go to your next grade level, then you have to leave that room and go to the next stage
Mm-hmm.
of your experience. Now, a lot
Right.
of people, and we're going to talk about it because that's what we do on Spiritual Speaking and Awakening. The church, they
Yeah.
wanted to try to keep us in first grade and kindergarten, where all we did was sound like baby talk, and we just listened and listened and didn't really ingest. We didn't really ingest it. We were just listening and operating on our emotions and being programmed the same thing over and over and over and over again. And some of y'all gonna get ready to turn off, but I don't care. We sitting there and I'm like, how long we got to talk about the death, burial, and the resurrection? So much happened after that.
I found out I heard that, but I never got the light shined on it like I have it now. It has a whole new meaning to me, more than it was explained to me. But when the light was shined on it, um, it was so enlightening, and I understand when God says commune and we're duplicating a cracker and wine, and I'm not bashing that, but
You won't. Okay, go ahead. You can keep your hammer. I'll bring out my hammer. Go ahead.
I'm not bashing that for for the simple reason is it's your level of consciousness. But my communion every day is to get a word from God. There was a day last week that I was just riding, and I was looking around, and I saw the Tesla cars, and I saw everybody so excited about the type car they had. And you know what? I was driving in a Nissan, and I got excited about not the car, but the word that God was giving me. And I knew that those cars can be in an accident and be crushed. But the word that God has given me can never be crushed. It can never run out of value. It can never, I don't have to worry about a negative balance in my account of my word. So the communion for me, for as often as I do that, for as often as I do that, it reminds me of who I am.
Right.
It doesn't remind me about the death, the burial, or the resurrection. It reminds me of who I am in this present moment, in this right now.
And the ritualistic programming of the communion is ritualistic program. It really is. Why? Every first Sunday you do it, not the second Sunday, third Sunday, fourth Sunday, but every first Sunday, according to the churches that I went to, the first Sunday, and then you were white. And I'm like, that don't make any sense to me. You're wearing white, but you're drinking grape juice, aka blood. I just started things. I was like, ritualistic programming to keep you from ingesting and digesting what was being given to you, so that you can execute what you've ingested and see the results of it. I really think it was designed where you don't see the results of God's word. And God bless them all. They were, their level of awareness and everything. But since my awakening, I had to come out because I was commanded to. But I understand it now. And that's why I believe that the purpose of Spiritual Speaking and Awakening, because the intention is to awaken the viewers and just help you see it in an enlightening way, a different perspective, to help come up higher into the dimensions of God. Now, we're going to run an ad, a couple actually, and when we come back, we're going to kick the season off. As you guys see in this strolling banner there, that this season's theme is the days of Revelation. We're going into Revelation, and we're going to be talking about the seven churches of Revelation and whatever Spirit just provides to us as to what direction we're going to go. But that's where we're going. We're in the days of Revelation, and tonight we're going to just share with you because it has to start. Well, I wanted to. I said, I really want to take a deep dive into John. Because he allegedly wrote the story about the seven letters to the seven churches. It says that he wrote those. I said, I want to take a deep dive into John, and how did he get to that state to be able to write those letters? So that's what we'll be talking about tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So go grab yourself a refreshing drink, and when we return, we're going to be talking about Revelation chapter 1 with a focus on John. Is it John the Baptist? No, John the Baptist was his cousin. John was the other one, the one that Christ loved, right? Yeah, that's who we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about John, the one that Christ enlightenment, and the one that enlightenment loved. Girl. All right. So where am I going? Okay, here we go. Stay tuned.
The Ride Along with Vanessa Morning Show streams Fridays, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Stay in Love TV.
Welcome. You have just entered today's Michelleology. I'm Michelle. I'm your spiritual evolutionist and your motivator. In today's Michelleology, we provide you with insight that's needed to take a deeper look into your consciousness and provide tools that will open up the doors to your higher self. Get ready for a now awakening. Remember, once you go in, you'll never be without.
That's right. That's right. Tomorrow is the day, girl. Girl, I'm so excited for you. I really am. I got two phones. I'm gonna have both.
I'm wearing my shirt. Look at
yeah. Today's Michelleology with Michelle Washington. That's right.
Yes.
That's right. Tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, look, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we know it's Memorial Day, and you know we've had some of you have had a magnificent summer. Some of you have had a cruel summer. Okay, so far. And I know some of y'all may go out and you'll overindulge and all that, but don't worry about it because we got video on demand. So, we encourage you, set your alarm on your phone and, just roll over, download the Stay in Love TV app, just roll over and you'll go to the live channels and you'll see Michelle's lovely picture there. And just click on that at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That may be 6 o'clock for some of y'all. Some of y'all need to get up, but if you don't, just go ahead and do it and just let it play while you waking up so that you can get that word that you need in order to feed your soul. Today's Michelleology with Michelle. Yes. Girl, I was thinking about it. I says, just 2 short years ago. I'm getting misty. 2 short years ago.
Yeah. God works out things like they said the early bird catches the worm, but I say the early bird catches the word. So we're gonna have to come and hear something before we start something. So that's one reason I chose 7 a.m. because a lot of people are getting ready for work.
Yep.
And they can just listen. They don't have to look. But hopefully it's going to be an inspiration to start your day, to start your mind, instead of waking up thinking about what happened yesterday, all the stuff that you got accomplished in the day. You have to start out with a seed that's going to provide your needs for that day. Right. So I'm excited. I'll be up watching me so I can get encouraged.
Yeah. I mean, I do it all the time. I watch Ride Along all the time. And I'll be like, doggone it, Vanessa.
Sometimes you don't recognize that you said what you said because a lot of the things are being downloaded as you speak, because I don't use notes that much. I just study a lot. And when I study, when I get ready to speak, it just comes out. And then some things come out that I never studied. So I've adopted that. Sometimes I do. When I want definitions or something, then I'll write it down. But most of the time I try to hear what God is saying. And that's good training, because when you're in a situation, you need to stop talking and just hear what he's saying so you can do whatever you need to do to your next step in your situation. So, yeah.
Right. And some of y'all, we getting ready. We got 1 minute. Some of y'all in the battlefield right now. When you're in the battlefield, you can't rely on notes. You're going to have to rely on instinct, everything that you learned and everything that you listened and you took in while you were in class. Right. So, think about that, ladies and gentlemen. When you on the battlefield fighting for the Lord, no, you fighting for you, baby, because it's already done on there. You fighting for you. You fighting you to keep you, because you are your biggest enemy. You are fighting you in order so that your divine you can win the battle. But you have to totally rely on your instinct. I've learned that. Sometimes you just got to go out there and you rely on your instinct. What's the instinct? Spirit sending text messages and alerts and all this kind of stuff to your spirit so that you'll know what your next step is going to be. Now,
It's your spiritual GPS.
go ahead, say it again, girl.
It's your spiritual GPS, God's power system, God's purpose system. It's all, all I recognize, all we have to do is listen.
My mama
We've
told me
been,
that so many years.
we be doing
Listen.
so much other stuff, and all you have to do is listen. I learned the hard way. You
Yep.
just have to listen.
Just
So I'm
listen.
ready for the revelation.
We're ready. We're ready. Okay, so tonight we're going to be talking about and after this, and I want to see how this is going to go. Now, Revelation chapter 1, and I do have the scripture here, and it's a long one. I'm going to put it here so that it'll run along the banner here, and then I can read it as well, and then I'll let you take it from there, co-host. Revelation chapter 1. This is the revelation, his unveiling of the divine mysteries, Amplified version, ladies and gentlemen, of Jesus Christ, which God the Father gave to him to show to his bond servants, believers, the things which must soon take place in their entirety. I'm going to repeat that. The things which must soon take place in their entirety. Now, this is at the beginning of John writing his letter. I think, yep. And John, the one that Christ loved. I thought that was so fascinating. The one that Christ loved. And I was like, why was he the one that enlightenment loved? Ever wonder that?
Well, he was basically, when you talk about love, you're talking about the heart. So he stuck very close to the heart of God, which is why I always say we have a head mind and a heart mind. The head mind is full of fear. The heart mind is full of faith. So you can only get the revelation and the light when you stay close to the heart. So we're everywhere else but the heart. We're
Wasn't
in
he the
the
one
head.
that was laying on Jesus' bosom? Doing they say the way it was depicted in the one that was laying on this. Was that John? I think that was how John was described in there, and he was very close to, like you said, his heart.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the one. So if you want to get enlightenment, ladies and gentlemen, a man after God's own heart, David did it. David got it. Then let's encourage you that if you want to get enlightenment, you're going to have to draw near to the heart of God. What's the
And
heart
he
of God?
also talks about pastors, looking for pastors after his heart,
Mhm. Why he's looking for him?
because they're hard to find.
Girl.
You usually have pastors after his hand to see what can come out of it. But when you have a real pastor, then they're following the heart of God. And I think that's a lot that happened with the churches, the buildings closing down, because judgment is always supposed to start at the house of God, and that means within you. And so there wasn't much judgment going on.
You want to know why? I'm going to tell you why. Because of the systemic programming of what the majority, I ain't going to say all of them, the majority of the churches, the system that they were part of. And I got to back it up. Because why would they create a devil to blame everything on
Mm-hmm.
instead of assuming the responsibility
All right.
of God's word saying you reap what you sow and all this kind of stuff and all that? So they engineered, created, designed a devil, an external enemy to blame everything on. That's why you're not winning, girl. The devil just always attacking you. And that programming
Yeah.
the whole time.
Yeah.
And you wonder, why can't I get the victory, God? Why can't I get the victory? And you are part of a system that's engineered to keep you stuck, to keep
Yeah.
you there, because you're feeding that system of that opposing thought force, that antichrist. People don't want to believe it. They don't want to believe it. They don't. They don't want to believe it. Comments and everything. Vanessa, I don't know what kind of fire word that's coming. That's some strange word. All this kind of stuff. And I'm like, okay, I'm like Pastor Carlton Pierce. I'm like, I'm just gonna wait for y'all. I ain't coming down over there where y'all at no more. I'm just gonna wait for y'all. Okay, because it just makes so much sense. But yeah, that's why, my love. That is why.
And we also need to look at, it says the revelation. We always talk about Jesus, and that's the man part of God. But the Christ part of God is the consciousness. And so I grew up with that name.
Mm-hmm.
And there's absolutely nothing wrong with the name.
Right.
It's how you define the content of the name.
Right.
The character of the name.
Right.
There are so many names that God has been labeled with, but God showed me those are not my names. Those are characteristics within you. If he's Jehovah Jireh, if he's Jehovah Rapha, all of those are characters in you. Those are not names that you call on. Those are operations within yourself that you operate in.
Mm-hmm.
If you're sick, I've created you to be a healer of yourself. And most of us are not getting healed because we're not adopting that character that we can be healed. So I don't try, because I don't like to use try. I operate within myself, healing myself before I can tell someone else that's a possibility. Because if I'm going to spread the gospel, then that's the truth. Then I want to be able to say what I know and not say what I heard somebody else say, because all my life I've been operating in what somebody else said. Somebody else said that, and somebody else said that. But when I can back it up, it's a certain kind of energy that comes behind that. And that's what revelation is, that fire, that light, that energy, that chi, that prana, that kundalini, the chakras, all of that balled up, the anointing. They're just different names for the same power. And we get caught up in the names, but you have to operate in what you know in order to grow. You can't operate in what you think. You can't even operate in what you believe, because believe has doubt in it.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So we're talking about, if you don't know, we're in the book of Revelation, and we're gonna, we're taking a deep dive into John, the one that Christ loved, and we can learn so much from John. But we want to also, we just wanted to help just take a look into understanding how did he get to where he was to receive that enlightenment that he got. Now we know that according to the stories in the Bible, Christ he told him that Mary, his mother, was his mother now, and it's interesting how God assigned John to the one that gave birth to him, right? Mm-hmm. So he assigned the one that Christ loved, the one that was close to his heart, to the vessel that gave birth to him, right? And we know, according to some of the historians and all this, the stories and stuff, and research that, was conducted, and, the supporting documentation that they say, that John, because the church was under persecution. Wonder why. So, the church was under persecution. The disciples were being persecuted because they were associated with Jesus Christ, the anointed one, and his anointed. So they were coming after them. Who was coming after them, girl?
It was a thought pattern. We were looking, I always say the Bible is not literal, it's spiritual.
But who's coming after disciples, though?
Oh, it was the church. No. Let's back that up. It wasn't the church. It was those who called themselves the church.
Thank you. But I understood what you was talking about. And yet people won't, it's like they don't make the connection. They don't make the connection that was the ones that were attacking the disciples of Christ, right? Yet the majority of the churches that are on every corner have the same covenant and all this kind of stuff, and that rolls right up to that main source. So
And
anyway,
so when we talk about spiritually looking at this, and we're talking about the church was attacking, I want to go personally. The church is in you. So if the church is attacking, that means your thoughts are attacking what's already in you from the outside.
wait,
The
why?
attack, huh?
Why is it attacking me?
Because you've been conditioned to a way that seems right to man. It was never indicated for God. But a lot of the interpretations of what we call the Bible is the level of consciousness that the person who wrote it gave. So I'm telling the story from the level of consciousness that I know of. That is why there are so many books. They're not all the books. Some have been taken out, some have been
Right,
destroyed.
right.
But if you begin to look at it, every translation says it a different way. And when you say something a different way, sometimes it changes the meaning. We also look at words that are spells, words that have the same spelling but different meanings, or the
Mhm.
same sound in different meanings. So that's deception already. So
Right.
that's why you have to revelate the word, because no matter who tries to deceive you with the word, if it's the word of God, the light will always come to give you the revelation of it. So we've got to be very conscious of what our mind is doing to our church.
Mm-hmm.
Our church meaning our inside.
Right.
Our the thinking process
Mm-hmm.
from the head
Right.
is attacking the church, which is in the heart.
Right.
And they're only attacking from the head because of outside influence and conditioning to overshadow what we are supposed to remember. That's in the communion. For as often as you do this, remember me. Remember, who is me? Me, because God is in me. And
Right.
so the wordings is what we got to take hold of and
Mm-hmm.
begin to ask God for the light, the wisdom of what was actually said by him. Have you ever had a revelation from God and then you tried to tell somebody what you heard, but it didn't really come out like you heard it? You couldn't express it like you heard it, because a lot of times that's what happened in the translation. They heard it, but when they went to translate it, the words could not come like they heard it. And
Right.
so that's why we've got to wake up,
Wake up.
because the wording has been changed.
And but the great thing about it, see, people think, well, dog, what am I gonna do? I mean, I got the Bible. What am I gonna do? I mean, how do I wake up? You wake up by going within. Because that's where God is. He in there. He in there waiting for you, just sitting there. He probably having a drink of water or whatever, eating some bread, and waiting for you just to come in there and commune with him so that he can show you great and mighty things about you and about everything else. And that's what makes the word a living word, because I can read something and totally interpret it the way that's going to be befitting for me
Right.
along my journey. You can take the same scripture, and we do this every Sunday when we come together on Spiritual Speaking.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say something and then you go, but for some reason it tends to make sense. So
Right.
we're
It
talking
comes
about
together.
John. We got a few minutes. We want to talk about John. You know how we do, girl. We deviate, but it all comes together like a nice, fine little stew, or pizza, whatever y'all want to go. I'm kind of hungry. Whatever y'all want to do, stew, hors d'oeuvre, appetizer, whatever. It always seems to come together. And John, was persecuted, thrown in prison, and then they put him on the Isle of Patmos in Greece. And so now he's there all by himself. And all he had was his thoughts and his memories.
And so when we look at that, the Isle of Patmos, it was an island. And I like to see that it is land. It's a land where you are sitting within your mental faculties, because all of the disciples were mental faculties. They weren't men, they were mental faculties. So John is sitting in a place of consciousness after he's gone through a journey, after he's gone through
Experience.
his journey for his movie. And
Uh-huh.
now he's scripting his movie, but he's scripting it from a place of consciousness. And he's saying this to himself more so than he's talking to himself, actually. He's talking how you talk to yourself and encourage yourself, and you're getting something from God, and you're kind of talking about, well, okay, God, this, that, well, what's that was, and you're getting the picture to be put together to relay the message. So when we say that he's on this island, the island is separate from everybody else. So there's an island that you have to go on within yourself to separate yourself. We like to quote that scripture, come from among them. Yeah, not the people that we are running from, but it is getting in a place that you know yourself. Until you know yourself, you can't grow yourself. You cannot grow what other people have entitled and tagged on to you and told you weren't this and told you were that. Those, you can't believe what everybody says about you. And so as John was there, he had gone through so many things. Can you imagine walking with Christ and all the things, all the situations, all the places, all the stuff that he had seen? And now he has to be in a place of quiet so that he can hear the conversation that he's having within his heart with his Christ consciousness.
And which takes us to, I think I got the right chapter 4, Revelation, where it says, after this I looked, and there before me was a door standing open in heaven, and the voice I had first heard speaking to me like a trumpet said, come up here, and I will show you what must take place after this. Come up here. That's the focus. Come up here. Come up here.
After all of this, come up here. After this story, after this chapter, come up here, which means separate yourself from out here and come up here. Mm-hmm. And so allow yourself to be in a place, in a space that you can hear. There is so much we miss by not listening. I said that earlier. If we would just stop and listen. Well, what was that in school we used to use? Stop, drop, and roll. Mm-hmm. It's like a fire. There's a fire on you. You've got to drop all of this other stuff, and you've got to roll into what God is saying to you. So John, can you imagine? This is they say this is the last book of the Bible, and it's Revelation, which is light, which is Christ consciousness.
Right. I always said he was isolated, because when you going through a dark night of your soul, you always by yourself.
Yeah, because nobody understands. And you can't explain why you're acting like you're acting. You can't explain that. And you don't have time to explain it, because you're in a place where you have to hear what the Spirit is saying to you so that you can go forward and be what you're supposed to be. But if you're in a place where everybody, well, I think you should do this. I don't know why you're doing that. Why are you going up there to that mountain? Why you went to that island? Ain't nobody up there. You're going to be up there by yourself. Too much chatter is going on.
And it took the persecution to get you to a place of revelation.
Yes.
It takes the persecution that you are going through to get you to a place of revelation, so that God can get you where you can elevate higher.
Yes, the fire is your fuel. The fire is your fuel, and it's the very thing that we hate. It's the very thing that we don't want to deal with. It's the very thing that we just say, well, I got to go through all this. Why is this happening to me? I can tell you, because I've said those things. What did I do, God? Mm-hmm. The whining.
Yeah.
We got to take responsibility. If there's a fire, then you have a fire suit. If you're going underwater, then you have the necessary equipment. That's why I say we were equipped from the very beginning when we took this assignment.
You got everything you need.
There's nothing.
everything you need. And because here's the thing. Now remember, not remember, but the story about Shadrach, Meshach, and that bad Negro. They went into the fiery furnace, but it said they just sat there. See, so when you're going through a situation, it is best to be still. It is best to, and it can be hard because you like your emotions and you know your ego want to just react, but you remain calm. Remain calm, because that is where you need to get to. When you're a storm, everything's going all around you. You get in the center of that storm, because that's where the peace is. So John, they threw him on the island because they're getting ready to kill him. And you know, I thought about that. I said, well, if I'm getting ready to die, I'm gonna really think about a lot of things. And I really believe this is Vanessa's interpretation. This is the book of Vanessa's interpretation of John's situation on the Isle of Patmos. He had to have resolved with himself, just like Job did. Because when Job resolved with himself, that's when things begin to turn for him. He resolved within himself and he said, you know what? I wouldn't take nothing from my journey now. I had this great experience with this Savior, the one they called Jesus. And I wouldn't take nothing for it. So he accepted and he resolved within himself. Although I'm getting ready to die, I wouldn't take nothing for it. I'm grateful for the experience that has gotten me here. I'm grateful for this experience. Even though it appears that I'm getting ready to die, I'm okay with that. Because I'm grateful for the experience that got me here, because I know what was promised to me. And I'm going to be with him forever and ever.
And so when you talk about resolving, there's a lot that we have to resolve about what death is. Death is not what we have designed it to be. It is actually a place of graduation. It's a place of transition. Mm-hmm. It's a place, and I've always said I've been in the church all my life, and all we talked about was dying and going to see Jesus. Right. And then when it's time to go see Jesus, then people get upset and hurt. And yes, I understand the pain of not seeing anyone in person. Mm-hmm. But if we don't start walking in that spirit realm, if you walk in the spirit, then you won't fulfill all of that pain. A lot of the pain that we experience, we created for ourselves because we have not studied to show our own self-approved as to what God is spiritually saying about this situation. This journey was never designed to be painful.
And it's not about the pain. I really don't think it's not about being painful, because see, he done got beaten and everything. So he out there on the island, he probably was like, you know what? Finally, some peace and quiet. Mm-hmm. I get to just get to gather my thoughts, you know, and understand. Okay, I you know, like Paul, I fought the good fight. I'm ready. He probably said, I am ready. And when you are going through a situation or circumstance, it seems like it's over. When you finally accept it and say, you know what, I'm ready. Whatever may come my way, I'm standing on what was promised to me. And I'm speaking the truth. I'm speaking about myself. Because when you're in a situation, you don't know how it's going to pan out. You go, you know what, that's all right. I'm ready. Whatever's going to come my way, I'm ready. So he was like that. And that is when Revelation 4 took place, where they told him, come up here. After this, I wonder what after this is. I bet it was because he resolved within himself and said, when he finally accepted it and said, you know, it doesn't matter. I choose. It's all about choosing, staying committed. I choose and remain to be committed to what Christ taught me. I choose to be committed. I choose, despite of what's externally happening to me. I choose. After this, he looked, and before me was a door. open in heaven, a place of opening in your consciousness.
Mm-hmm. It's that light. It's that light that shines and reveals, that eliminates the darkness, all the dark thoughts. And I think when he said after this, or we experience that after this too shall pass.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we're just passing through this for a moment.
Yeah.
And we prolong it by going through all the emotional stuff, by going through what people say. No one can ever tell you how to go through something. They
Right.
can provide tools for you,
Yep.
but you have to manufacture and create your own way through.
That's why that suit, that armor didn't work for David. It only worked for that person. So whatever it is that you're going through the battle, whatever it is that you're getting ready to experience, you got your own armor within you.
And you have to create it.
And you have to create it. It said he went and found it because he went back to where he was trained. He was trained. He was reminded, okay, let me go back here. Oh, I know what worked for me the last time. Let me go get these stones. Okay, so everything that you're going through, you have your own tools, ammunition, and armor to get to battle whatever giants that you're facing. You have it. That's why, I love, coaches and everybody and all that. I think that's great and fantastic. I consider myself a spiritual coach, but let me tell you something. I cannot give you something that will work for you specifically. That has to come from within you.
Right. We just provide tools. We just give you a hammer, we give you a nail, we give you a saw.
I'll be like, okay, so
all those things. Yeah. And then you have to decide how you're going to use those. Or maybe what we gave you, a saw and a hammer, is not what you need. You need a screwdriver. But you have to stay within so that you can see what it is you need next for this. I want us to stop surviving. Surviving sounds so painful.
Mm-hmm.
But God never told us to survive. He said, overcome it.
Right.
Come over it. Go over it.
Yep.
When you survive it, you keep rehearsing, I'm a survivor, I'm a survivor. But when you overcome it, you get over it and move on to the next or to the now or wherever you are at that point. Everybody has to get where they have to get at the level of your consciousness.
Right. And a lot of people don't want to do it. We trying to share with you, and the purpose of this whole season is to awaken every one of you, because we're in the days of revelation. We're going to reveal to you some things. And we revealed to you tonight about John. We revealed to you tonight about what it takes for you to get to this level of awareness and enlightenment that it takes for you to come up higher into the dimensions of God. See,
what is your after this?
What is your after this?
What
happens
now? What happens now that you've been cheated on? What happens now that you've been lied on? What happens now that the diagnosis have been given? What happens now that your bank account? What happens now there's no food on the shelf? What happens now that the gas is high? You know what? People talk about the gas prices, but every time I pass by a gas station, people getting gas. So that's the provision of God. If the gas goes to $30 a gallon, your supply is going to be, the supplier is always greater than the demand. So when we put that energy in knowing that after the prices go up, so what? God still is.
After this, and I don't even feed any of that. I don't feed into that, and I just don't. But John, we got to stay with John. John, he's there, and he's getting ready to get all this revelation. Because why? Because he qualified himself. How did he qualify himself? Because he allowed himself to resolve and accept and say, you know what? I'm still committed. I'm still committed. In spite of everything that's going on, in spite of everything that's what, is getting ready to happen to me, I've been beaten and everything, I'm still committed. Boom. God says, you know what? Yeah, you come up here. Let's show you something. He said, things which must soon take place in their entirety. That means this movie got to play out. It's got to play out, ladies and gentlemen. We're in the days of Revelation, and it's got to play out. Now, here's the thing, and I'm leaving with this. Now, there are all kind of scenes within a movie, right? It's all kind of scenes. And this is what TikTok has taught me. Yeah, TikTok. Okay, so I'm scrolling, right? And they got all kind of stuff about this and that and whatnot. But you know what I'm doing? I'm scrolling to something that resonates with me of the scene that I want to be a part of. I want to be a part of the higher dimension, the 5D, the new heaven and the new earth, where Dolores Cannon is talking about that experience. I ain't over there where they talking about, zombies and this and that and all this kind of stuff. I'm not in that scene. I'm a part of that scene. See, I really think that we are in the days where you have to choose which scenario, which scene you want to be a part of. And then you ride that way, because that's going to be your vibration that you're on, where that you can get experience, because we know this place ain't our home. We know it.
Oh, we're supposed to anyway.
You're supposed to. So y'all need to stop acting like this is your home.
I just have a will for the people to know the truth, and not my truth, but your truth for your journey that you're taking. There's so many lies that we've been conditioned with, and God is unraveling them for me every day until I get to the truth. And the only thing that can't be changed, the only thing that will stand is the truth. So my will for you in spiritually speaking and awakening is to awaken the truth and the light that dwells in you, and that you are light that cannot be hid. And once you obtain that and you know your worth, then you don't have to prove yourself to nobody.
Never, ever, ever. You won't ever have to do that. And, people saying, oh, heaven, I want to go to heaven. Well, what does heaven look like to you? What does heaven look like? What does heaven look like? I'm choosing heaven. That's my heaven right there. That one. I'm not going to be running from this and this and that and zombies or whatever it is they talking about and getting the mark and getting beheaded. I ain't a part of that. That ain't my heaven, honey. That is not my heaven nor my new earth. I'm choosing that one. Choose you this day. Whom you go serve. Choose. We're in the days of Revelation. That's why everything's been separated. That's why the great resignation is taking place. People are resigning. That's why there's a falling away. First, people, see, they told us, they said a great falling away. People are going to be leaving the church. Yeah, you better run from the church, that church, and run to the right church. You better fall away from that. And that's why that's happening. Because there's a falling away first. That falling away is God's people coming out of her.
It's the ecclesia.
I'm going to stop hollering and everything. They say I holler. I'm just from the South. I mean, I'm from the South. We talk loud, We talk loud. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you so much for watching. We want to thank you for sharing Social Media World. We thank you so much. I see your comments. Thank you. There you go. There she go. This earth is not my home. It's not. If you can resolve that and get that get that, you'll stop acting like and start getting in position and getting aligned with how you are to be used in these great and terrible days of the Lord.
Oh no, we're in the never season.
Yes. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for caring. Thank you for your prayers. We want to thank you also for tuning in tomorrow. Today's Michelleology with Michelle, the great Michelle Massey Washington. I'm going to be tuning in. I have an alarm clock set. I get up early, about 6:30 anyway, but I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna make my smoothie, and I'm gonna sit in front of the telly and have my phone up, and I'm just gonna enjoy tomorrow's episode. Welcome to the Inner Evolution. Ooh, wait. Welcome to the involution.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. My love, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much. I'm a Libra, right? So we function better with partners. And
How can two walk together unless they agree?
so I want to thank you.
You're not crying, are you?
No, I'm just getting misty.
Something's in your eye.
But thank you for being my partner. Although we never met physically.
Nobody would ever believe that. But
No.
Spirits don't have to meet physically.
No. No.
So I'm in it for the long haul because we're connected.
You are my sister.
Yeah, you're mine also. I thought about that today as you said that. I never had a physical sister. I always had brothers. So anytime that I've had a couple of people that I can call my sister, so you added to that list. So I'm very grateful and appreciative for the things that you've sown in my life, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and any other way you can. I really don't think you are real, but
Well,
I don't think you are real. You're not a human. That's what I mean. You're not a human person. You are way beyond that. And I'm grateful to that. And God connects you with people if you allow them. And usually women cannot connect because it's always a comparison or we're fussing about something that don't even matter. But when women connect, things begin to birth. And so I am very appreciative to this opportunity and I don't take it lightly. I don't get puffed up in it. Actually, sometimes I can't believe it, but I see us going further than we've ever gone before. I see it's like maybe one person that sees the vision that will connect and be that financial booster for everything. It's one person that's going to connect. I don't know who it is. I just see them out there and they're going to see one of these shows and whatever's being said is going to be a solution to whatever they're dealing with. And they're going to financially connect.
I appreciate that. How it shows up. I mean, that's why, I work full time and I fund all of this because I understand my assignment.
Mm-hmm.
I understand it. And, I started the network. People if they want to have your own platform, if you want that, if you want a space where you can share. Now, we're leading edge, we're cutting edge, but we started in the church,
In the building.
but we want those of you who connect to spirit and divine the way that you connect with. And if you're coming from a place of love, then we want you a part of this network. If you're operating from a place of love, I ain't talking about ego. I ain't talking about fear driven. I'm not talking about all that. I don't need you on this platform. But if you operate from a place of love and compassion and you're being Christ-like, then we want you a part of Stay in Love TV. If not, guess what? It'll just be me and Michelle. And then, she get mad at me, want to quit me. Then it'll just be me. I look at a long show and some other shows that, we're going to be birthing for the rest of the summer and all of that. And for the rest of 2022, whatever, feel inspired. We have some things on the, that we're in a discussion that, we're going to see exactly what's going to be rolling out. We're taking our time with this, and I'm grateful, that, we've rolled out that first season of Today's Michelleology. Yeah. We did it.
In a storm. I did it.
Ain't that something? Yeah. That's what I'm telling you. Ain't nothing like going through a little something to make you realize what you made of. You'd be like, shoot, I can do it.
Yeah.
I can make it. Yeah.
I had my spiritual umbrella. I had my spiritual umbrella some days, and I was like, it was some days that I actually did it at midnight or later, just at the time when everything was just maybe at a settled point. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see in the morning what I said in
Hmm.
the storm.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, them days I'm doing ride along in my car, riding to Tampa. Just as I mean, somebody I had people tell me, "You need to stop driving and doing." I'm driving to Tampa. That's like a 15, 25 mile trek, right? I'm
Mhm.
doing ride along, driving to Tampa in
Mhm.
traffic,
Mhm.
rush hour traffic in the morning time, right?
Yeah.
But it was something that was driving me to do it.
Mhm.
Now I don't have to do that. Now I just go down the street a block. Won't he do it, girl? I'm telling you. So you just
Mhm.
keep on doing it. I'm telling you, it's it's a part of the process. It's a part of the process. Everything that you are going through is a part of the process. When people will accept that and just resolve within themselves, then you will get to that level of awareness and revelation that's going to get you through, where you will cycle through this experience much quicker and you
Mhm.
come out with even more than when you started. All right. It's yep, they're gonna show me if I got it set for 15 minutes after. So we got 4 minutes. But thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for sharing. Thank you so much for this for tuning in and enjoying the season premiere of Spiritually Speaking and Awakening. I am Vanessa Klinger, your intuitive life strategist and life coach motivator.
I'm Michelle Washington, your motivator and your spiritual evolutionist. Namaste. I bow to the divine presence in you.
Namaste, everybody, and make sure you tune in and watch us tomorrow on Michelle's live channel. Today's Michelleology, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until join us Friday, also right along with Vanessa Morning Show, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and join us next Sunday. So we got the weekends. We got the weekends covered for you. You know, um, and then Monday, of course. But thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you for your emotional and spiritual support more than anything. I feel your love. I feel your encouragement. I feel you taking the time just to launch the download, install the app, and watching and support. I feel it.
Yeah.
I feel it. Thank you so much for your encouragement. If you don't have the money, you got a phone. Download the app and just watch it or just listen
And share it.
and
Share the good news.
share it. That's all we ask. That's all we ask. So until tomorrow on today's Michelleology with the great Michelle Massey Washington, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
All right.
All right. Stay in love, everybody. Good night, goes. Stay in Love TV is your production to distribution solution to getting your message seen and heard. Having your own TV show with Stay in Love TV has never been easier than now. Stay in Love TV gives you the power to share your message with the world. Stop watching TV and start being watched on TV. Stay in Love TV offers real-time multicasting, all with one click. This opportunity puts you on the world stage with an audience of over 200 million. In addition to your low monthly subscription fees, you will also receive monthly network coaching and training from the network itself to ensure that before your first show premieres, you are set up for success. We at Stay in Love TV bring over 20 years experience in sales, marketing, advertising, and business development. Stay in Love TV, purposeful entertainment driven by love, empowered with passion, fueled with faith. Go to www.stayinlovetv.com and let's get started.